So we will start the sharing session on 2 p.m. sharp. Okay. So good afternoon and thank you everyone who attend today's sharing session. I'm Jun Yi, currently a third year UTM student, and I will be the moderator for today's session. CAIRO UTM will have this sharing session every Tuesday in the hope of providing some useful insight and inspiration to the participant. For today's session, we will have 30 minutes presentation by our speaker and another 25 minutes for Q&A session. Therefore, feel free to drop any comments or questions on the chat box during the presentation or raise your hand during Q&A session and you will be unmuted to ask question. And also, please don't leave the meeting after Q&A session because we will have a photo session with everyone. So first of all, let me invite Dr. Yong Chifai to give a warm welcome speech to us. Dr. Yong.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So thanks again, Jun Yi, for chairing this session. Kang, are you there? I'm still not able to see you.
Hi, Doctor. I'm here.
Okay.
Everyone.
Okay, great. So once again, I just want to welcome everyone to join this sharing session. Just like Jun Yi said, this is an event that we try to organize every week on Tuesday. And we invite the external to come to give a sharing talk, not only for CAIRO UTM, but also for the public. And today we are very honored to have Dr. Khor today to give a sharing talk here. And why this talk? Because some of students, some of the peers, and some of the lecturers asked actually right after a student finish graduate, what should they do? Either they work as an engineer, they continue their master, PhD, or what, or the other one is actually to open your own startup. And basically, Kang actually have done that. Does three somehow. I mean, during his internship, his work at a company. Then he also did master and also PhD, and of course, he's also doing his own startup. And a lot of questions also asked to me personally. Also, is there any step to open a company and whatnot? To be honest, there are no so-called secret. There is no so specific step because every startup are very very different, and ultimately I think most of the company are being driven by a big why, and Kang is the one that I see, and maybe he can explain what is his big why he want to do all these startup. I think is more important rather than being asked to do a startup, because some of us here, a lot of some of you may be being asked right after I graduate, I want to open a startup. Right after I finish, I want to commercialize my product. I mean, that is your aim, right? But I think Kang is different. He actually not really because of open a own startup. He's actually patient, want to help people. That drive him to open a startup. I'll let him to explain that in more later in the talk. Yeah, so once again, thanks Kang Xiang for accepting our invitation to give a sharing talk. And to the rest of you, I hope you all can benefit by this talk. And then for most of your information, also Kang Xiang was my final project student back in 2012. Then my master and PhD. And finally is my co-founder and co-owner of a company also. Okay, thank you. So I back to you, Jun Yi.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yong. So it is with special assignment that I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Khor Kang Xiang as the speaker for today's sharing session. The title for today's sharing will be Journey of a Student Ideas to a Startup. So please do allow me to introduce our speaker today, Dr. Khor. Dr. Khor graduated from Malaysia Japan International Institute of Technology UTM and is a PhD holder in Rehabilitation Engineering. He is the co-founder and CEO of TechCare Innovation Sdn Bhd that develops smart rehabilitation and fitness devices. According to an article titled The Tech That Care on Sehat Malaysia, Dr. Khor shared that he felt that he is unfulfilled during his internship and can't see himself working same thing day by day. And he decided to take the challenge and break himself into a medical field and eventually he succeeds. Therefore, Dr. Khor is going to share his experience and idea to a startup during his student time. Without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Khor.
Thank you, Jun Yi. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today.
All right, so I think some of you maybe know about me before, and I'm going to share maybe the journey that I have. I don't have the golden formula for how to start from idea to startup. My journey is I think every journey is very unique, and depending on what is the opportunity you have, and what is the goal that you have. All right, so I can try to share my journey, and then how how I get along from the university until now. All right. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Still no. Oh, now can see already.
All right, can see. Okay, Ken. How long did I have for the presentation? 25
It's
minutes.
around 30 minutes. Is it
Yeah,
enough for
yeah.
you?
It's
Okay.
fine. Right. I have 60 slides for this, but I will I skip some of it. So we put more discussion inside the Q&A session. All right. Great. So okay. So I think I myself is a graduate from UTM, and I did my PhD also in UTM, and I'm purely educated in Malaysia. So I'm an engineer, so mechatronics, and then my PhD is in bioengineering. Okay, TechCare is a human technology company, provide interactive and automated training solution, focusing on rehabilitation technologies. So the idea is we know that human physical capability may reduce because of accidents or other disease, or can be due to aging. But the mission of TechCare is how we can maintain every human functional skill at optimum level with technologies. Right. Some of the newspaper awards. All right. So why are you here today? I would like to ask, like, you are having your internship. I think mostly is intern, and I'm not sure whether you asked this question before. Like, why do you want to take this internship? Why do you want to take? Why do you want to come to universities? Is it because it's pre-planned by your parents, or everyone did that? That's why we do that. And same thing with the intern. So we will discuss more on this. Why do you want to be here? All right. And maybe another thing is, what is your dream? What do you actually wanted to do in your life? And a lot of question I feel sometimes we did not actually ask ourselves why we want to do what we want to do in the future. So I started the story of TechCare. How it gets started is when I come to universities, and I was born. Then I go to school, college. I thought this is the journey that I'm going to go through from my whole life. I graduated from universities, like get a fall flat, which is like a typical expectation that consider a good student. Then get a good job, and then we retire. That is something that I thought I would be going through my life. But a lot of things have changed after I go to universities. And I joined some of the robotic competition. So I joined Robocons, and I learned a lot of skill, working very hard to build robots for competition in Malaysia and overseas competition. And we won the best design award in 10 years ago in Egypt. So, and at that moment of time, when we get before we get the award, you will feel before you get something, you will feel like, oh, I want to get that award. I want to get that award, and we will be like very working hard to get it. But once we get it, there's another question come in. I feel like, okay, we already get an award. So what is next? Why should I continue struggle so hard? Right? We already win the award, why we want to? If the reason is just to win an award, I should not continue to learn anymore, right? But why should I continue to struggle so hard? And I have this question in my mind, because at that time I feel like I learned a lot, but why should I continue? I did not able to get a purpose to continue the journey. Previously is have a award, then we can go for competition. But now, then I realized I don't have a reason in order for us to continue. And then by coincidentally, I go to a stroke center, and then I have the chance to witness the stroke patient, how they recover, and how tough is it. So then I realized that actually I can actually use the robotic skill that I have to do something for them. and I did not know much actually. So I'm lucky to meet Dr. Yong as well, as mentor. He guided me along the journey. So I'm not sure what to build in the first place though. The first step is Dr. Yong asked me, you just go and have a look in other hospital. So I go around the whole Malaysia and then try to understand and talk to them what is the current challenges that they have. And then after that, get some understanding. Then we start to build our first robot in our hostel. So you can see, without any good facility, we can actually build robot inside our house hostel as well, right? And then this is the first version that we have. So here is how it looks like. We can play games or doing the rehabilitation trainings. Okay, and then we get some feedbacks, and we join one competition. This my Novasi actually we won the first place, and then we get the 50,000 to continue the project. That is how we get some fund to start to continue the project. Then I thought everything will be smoothly. We got the award, and then everything will be perfect. Everyone will like our invention. That is not the case. All right. So innovation, there's no innovation without failure. So and that is one of it lah. So I joined one of the competition in Indonesia, and Dr. Yong with me. We train until 5 a.m. in the mornings, and then and at that competition we do quite well, and I thought we were going to win the first place, but at the end we won the third place. I feel a bit disappointed because I thought we will be going to win the award, right? But then at that moment of time, I realized that why should I feel disappointed? Because I started this project is not for the award, and this become a wake up call for me. So it remind me that I must always remember my purpose. So if you remember your purpose, even though you get a lot of 100 of failure, 1,000 of failure, you will, if you remember your purpose, you will continue to drive and move forward. All right. So that is very important. And with that purpose in mind, we win some awards. Also, we go to British Invention Show in the UK. UK largest exhibition. That time is we are just final year student. We competing with all these companies and all this. And I talked to Dr. Yong. Hey, Dr. Yong, I still remember inside the office of Dr. Yong. And Dr. Yong say, I tell Dr. Yong, got chance or not? Got chance to win or not? Dr. Yong say, I'll do our best lah, and then see how it goes. So then we do our best, and then we managed to win the gold award, diamond award, and the World Invention Award, which is top award along in this competition. And this shows that we don't have to be in the Silicon Valley in order to build something right? We, even though in our hostel in Malaysia, and we are final year student, we still can able to compete. If you not to say compete, I mean can do something for people. And the idea is never limit your potential, because we will not know how much potential that we have unless we want to do it. All right. And also very important to maintain the academy as well. Everything is possible, just a matter of whether we want to do it or not. Always by Dr. Yong. Yeah. All right. And this is after we graduate. So what is next? And I want to go through the journey with you is how I make the decision. So at that time, I think we joined a competition, and at that time, I did not even imagine I am going to continue my study. Okay, in my mind, 4th year already, I feel like I can tell Dr. Yong, I forgot already. I feel that I'm not going to continue my study after this. I have been like studying for like 20 years, and all this final year exam and all this, I feel like very, very stressful, etc. lah. So I feel like, okay, I'm not going to continue my study. And by chance, actually, I managed to win a competition. There is a scholarship. So I actually have this master scholarship to continue my study. Okay, then later on, I can convert to PhD. Okay, so why I continue my study? I think there's 2 reasons. First, we got a scholarship to continue. Second is because I'm working in medical healthcare, and I realized that in final project, final project standard is like asal boleh, can already is sufficient. But if we want to do something that is even better, we may need more knowledge and more experience. So master going to research field for at that moment of time, Dr. Yong also give a lot of suggestion, and that doing master will be a good chance to increase the exposure to the knowledge. And then at the same time, we can start the companies to see whether this can be a feasible business or not. Okay, so why we open this company? I still remember when I take the decision whether to continue this project, because Dr. Yong mentioned to me like, hey Kang, are you sure you want to go into healthcare? Because it's very tough. It will take you even 10 years. Yeah, have been 10 years now. And at that moment of time, I talked to Dr. Yong, say, okay, I know it's tough, but if we are not doing this, who else will be doing it? So I think at least we try lah. So then Dr. Yong said, okay, we start and then we try how it goes. At the same time, we continue the study. I continue the PhD, and then in order to learn, at the same time we see how is the market. So the purpose of the startup is to get a market experience, and then to go into the research is to get the qualification for the research, right? So we did not stop there. Currently you may see some of our products, but actually inside we have tried over 10 different kinds of prototypes. So research and improvement. I've been in a few of the countries. I tested this, Amio Power, Singapore, this in the US. So going to the research field, able to more understand how they do. So we can read the paper, how US they are doing, how Japan. I'm going to Japan to present to the robotics engineers there, and then a few. So these are some of the products I think some of you may know. So how before is very manually intensive, but now actually we have some to help some of the trainings. So it can be used for not only risk, it can be used for different kinds of movement by changing the modules itself. All right, and this one we have been using in India, China, even in Thailand hospitals. So beta testing, do a lot of demo. You can see this is one of demo in the hospitals, get a feedback. Clinical trials. So I still remember my PhD, I spent like about 1 to 2 months standing just inside the rehab center, coming to here every day just to watch how to monitor the patient, they are working well or not. Yeah. So, and then after that, clinical trial is to make sure the product is effective, is good, and then we can improve if there's any problem. So then later on, if you want to market as a product, we may need the certification, safety test. So we prepare we get some funding. So Dr. Yong actually last time, I think is quite fortunate, is Dr. Yong also managed to get some funding, and we use the funding for certification. Yeah. And then also at the same time, we are approached by a few distributors. So one of the closely we working with is Thailand distributor. So they helping us to market in Singapore, Thailand, and a few Singapore and Thailand. So then I managed to get some experience from that, learning from peer expert. I also joined some accelerator programs, magics, get to know some of the friends. So this is Shopee, one of the e-commerce. This is Ladustria founder. I'm not sure whether you know it. And yeah, so at the same time, that time I was in the UTM. So if we are in the UTM, we can access to research facility, no problem. We can learn from research expert like Dr. Yong, have a lot of ideas how to approach innovation. But when it comes to a product itself, we are not alone by ourselves in the research. We will need to talk to the people outside. For example, if you want to sell to other people, the industrial partners, are they able to like commercialize it? Can we sell it? Or how about the user? What is their pain point? How is the expert feedback? So not only in the research we close in our lab, we know, we thought that everything will be perfect if we do it in our lab, but actually we have to go out to really understand how to close the ecosystem within the field of our business. And this is very important as well. Teamwork. People come and goes, and I'm lucky that I'm able to meet a lot of great people along the journey. And we are still working now. I think Najib still working now from so Feebot is kind of like his baby. So yeah, and all right attitude paying forward. I also share some experience. So this is some of the achievement during the universities, and managed to go to some of the countries as well. This is kind of like bonus. We go to, I think I go to like close to over 10 countries because of Dr. Young's support as well. And I think a lot of because of Dr. Young's support, other countries, and some of the interest from other countries. So we managed to see some interest. And yeah, at the same time, so that time Dr. Young actually mentioned, if I continue PhD, if I fail the business, I still can get a PhD, right, Dr. Young? And if I fail the PhD, probably I may have a business. If I fail both, that would be a good experience. And I'm lucky that I graduated from my PhD 2 years ago, and now we still surviving now with TechCare. Yeah. And now TechCare 10 years later, we are human performance solution companies. So providing not only create products by ourselves, but also package as a comprehensive solution together with other brands. So these are some of our products. I think I won't share it here. Okay, 15 minutes. Maybe I can have more time for you to get to know. Yeah. So this is actually my PhD project, and this is the video.
CR2 Haptic is a compact and portable rehabilitation robot, which provides exercise training for forearm and wrist movement. The robot will provide assistance to assist the movement when it is needed and resistance to strengthen the muscle when users start to improve. The device can be used by elderly people, stroke survivors, and others who need rehabilitation training or exercises for the hand. It also provides customizable training therapy to fit for different user performance. The robot encourages and motivates the user to perform more training by providing various engaging virtual reality games for them to play while training their hand. The compact design of the robot provides optional modular units that can be used to train for different functional movement in limited space to fit for various users. The robot also provides an assessment program for evaluation of hand movement in terms of the movement range, strength level, and game performance, which can be used in the therapy assessment process. The assessment result will be recorded in a report, enabling users to review their progress over time.
Okay, so these are the video that we did, I think like 5 years ago. So and then this is another project. Feebot is a balancing training device. It started as a okay. So this started as a small project during a PhD study as well. Okay, and now this is another project that products from other company. So we sell it as our brand. So some of the result, I will skip this, like helping helping patient now. We are directly helping the patient using the robot at home. Okay, and some of the feedback, some of the countries that we are selling to. So this is a summary. My last slide, yeah. Summary is I like this 5W1H. So why you want to do what you want to do, the passion, the reason, a big why. And Dr. Young mentioned that in the beginning of the sheet sharing. What is a problem you want to solve? There's a lot of customer, right? What is the problem? Why do you care about this problem? And what is the problem that you want to solve? And then how can you do it? Do you have the technical skill? Do you have and then who will be doing with you? Do you have a team? And then sales and marketing, one of the key things as well, where and when you want to sell. So these are the 5 things. The last, yeah. So why are you here? I think mostly you are engineer, right? And I think why you are here, I give the answer is like, for example, if you are an engineer, our role in the universities, and our role as an engineer is to provide innovation and to shape the way we live in our society. Basically, we as an engineer is solve problem, right? Okay, so that is our role. and I you yeah. So there's a lot of challenges currently, not only in the healthcare side, in the society. So the value of the knowledge we learn in the university is not just for us to get a certificate and to get a good job, but to solve a problem that we have in our society. Yeah. So try to look in the bigger picture that in the universities we learn 4 years of study. What can we do with the skill that we have? And that will make you having a big why to motivate you to move on. Yeah. So all right. So this is society is depending on us to find a new approach to improve their life. And never underestimate your potential. If you have the right purpose and strong determination, you will succeed in what you do. Thank you. That's my last slide.
Thank you, Dr. Khor. It is indeed a fruitful sharing session to all of us. And I think now we will have our Q&A session now. Yeah. So let's take a look on the first question from Ali Madani. He has 2 questions to Dr. Khor. The first question is, it is clear that joining robotic competition has indirectly led Dr. Khor to finding a goal in your life. But in regards of TechCare innovation, how much of that experience carry over into your product and startup development? And the second question is, it seems like most of the TechCare's innovation product gamify their treatment, and has that caused better therapy outcome with young people versus to the old people? Yeah.
Understand. All right. Thank you, Ali. How much does it I lead to the tech care innovation? I think a lot, quite a lot. So in tech care, if you want to build a products without the skill set, a bit hard to start somewhere. For example, if you want to build keyboard, okay, you want to build keyboard, we do not know about programming, we do not know about electronics, we do not know about programming. So how to start is very hard. Either we hire peoples or hire people, we don't have money for that. Then I think for startup as a tech care, CR2 and keyboard, we need a strong engineering skill. And because of the joining the robotic competition, it actually helped a lot in building the foundation for all the hard skill. Yeah. So how much? Yeah, I hope that answered that question. Most tech care gamify their treatment. Has it called a better outcome compared with younger people versus older people? I don't have the right answer, exact answer for that. Gamification is one of the tools to help patients to improve their trainings. I can say it's one of the option. Whether better for younger or older people, we can see actually younger people more tendency for gaming, and it could be, but better outcome, yes or no, it we don't have I don't have data for that. but we did see that it's able to help. So how much is helping comparing both younger or elder, quite subjective at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the Dr. Khor answer. I would say that maybe this is a feature to interesting the younger generation customer, I think, yeah, for the gaming side.
Correct.
Okay. Hope that's answer Ali questions. And next is from Lamha. She thanks Dr. Khor for the presentation and it is very inspiring. And the first question is, you mentioned that you are a mechatronic engineering student, and then later you changed the path to the biomedical field. And can you share some challenge that you face with this transition? And the next question is, Dr. Khor also mentioned that there's a lot of, you did a lot of things during your final year. Maybe for the time management part, how do you manage, how do you find a balance? Yeah.
Understand. Thank you. The challenges I faced from transition from an engineering student to a biomedical, actually a lot of things that I need to learn by myself, because bioengineering, so we need to learn about biomechanics, human muscles, etc. And at that time, I don't have a background for physiotherapies, so I face a lot of challenges whereby when I try to read the paper about clinicals papers, and a lot of term actually I don't understand. And the challenges is going to the totally different field is a big jump. And what I do is I try to learn as much as I can, try to understand, and then also working with therapists to talk to them, and then hear from their experience. And yeah, correct. So that is how I overcome the challenges. And one of my co-supervisor is physiotherapist, so she did share some more experience for me. And yeah, okay, so these are the few challenges. And in fact, when we coming from biomedical, when we coming from this engineering field, we go into the biomedicals. Like for example, I'm an engineer, I talk to a doctor, our language is different. So the way we interpret problem and the way they interpret problem is different. So when we try to understand and talk to physio, last time we talked differently. So getting more and more understanding from them is I try to put myself to them. So when talking to a clinical side people, we try to understand what they are trying to share with us. Because clinical side, they are looking at an overall. When they try to share a suggestion, there's a lot of idea. So as an engineering, when there's a lot of idea, like we were like, what to do is like too many things to do. There's a lot of ideas around. And then I spent some time to filter out. I mean, like try to understand what is exactly important of what they are trying to say. And yeah, so that is my challenge is communication and the terms of understanding in the field. The second question is mentioned there a lot, how time management. Honestly, I'm still a lot to improve. The best person to ask is Dr. Yong. Okay, and a few tips that Dr. Yong share is maybe you can use event trigger strategy. Well, event trigger means that like a due date lah, for example. Okay, like you got the competition next week, right? For sure you're going to rush for today, something like that. If there's no exact event for us to do, we won't have it. For example, this sharing session, hey, Dr. mentioned, hey, can you do a sharing next week? Okay, can. So I put a commitment there already. I commit to an event, then I will put my effort inside. And how to find the time, you will able to find the time. So when the idea will comes when we have I can say like stress motivation. So we will like get a lot of idea and how you manage. So event trigger, I feel quite effective. So I feel like we able to achieve something if we commit to someone, if you commit to something, and else we lost the trust. So we have to yes or no, we have to complete it. I think that is a good strategy. Second is I think that is a call, so you can process. Another is, I think Dr. Yong share a lot on the time management, if not mistaken, categorization, prioritization. Yeah, Dr. Yong have all the answer that you want. All right.
I just want to add on that. Thanks, Kang for that. I think I shared two thoughts in the past. One is how to do more with less. The other one is time management. So basically, what Kang mentioned early on is when you have something to do, you're going to do it. So that is actually the planning. So you're going to spend time for planning. You can plan for 1 month, you can plan for 1 year. So when we first started, myself and Kang during his FYP project, I still remember the first week we had the meeting. We already start thinking that in 1 year, I asked Kang what you want to do and so on. We were already planned that we want to go to UK, something like that. So that is kind of like a dream and also a goal. But then we also said that every month we want to join a competition with an improvement of 10% of the prototype, something like that. So once we have that kind of plan, KPI and so on, then the next thing is just to execute. That is a bit of a discipline. But of course, time is, you don't have this much time. Sometimes you don't have much time to do that, but you will find the time definitely, just like what Kang said, right? Once you commit to something, you're going to find the times. Okay, back to you, Jun Yi.
Thank you.
Thank
Maybe
you.
I add on.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it okay?
Yeah, sure.
I try to share my the perspective when I was in university. So I joined Robocon that time, also quite packed, and a lot of time. For example, how much time? They always ask, "Well, how much time do you think you need to do this?" Or like maybe 1 week. I can tell you within 1 hour we can settle this. Okay, and Dr. Yong always like surprise me with this. That's how I get the benchmark is so high that and until it can push ourselves. So when I joined Robocon, etc., or this competition, so we have this exam running on, right? And a lot of people, they feel like I got an exam and then I cannot do this and that. So if we feel something important enough for us to do, and then this exam is also important, yes, then it helps us to make us even more effective with our time. Okay, if you push ourselves to a different level. For example, last time I think I need to spend 1 month to study a final year exam. Okay, or a midterm exam, 1 month. Okay, the longer the better, the longer the better preparation. Seems logic. But then, if the result is almost the same, if I spend 1 week compared to 1 month, am I going to take 1 week or 1 month? 1 week, am I correct? So, and then if I know that, so how can I use the 1 week to get the same result as 1 month? Then I have to plan. So what I do last time so don't copy me if what. And last time I have 3 days for me to study and exam. So first day study every chapter, second day do a past year, third, and then I think I revise. So then I already set this timeline, and then so 3 days before I will allocate for study, and then the rest I will do other things. That is something that I think. So you have to put your mind that I think do your best in managing will help you to break through yourself every time when you do something. If you do like you try to push yourself back. If we try to push ourselves back, cannot lah. We will always be there. So maybe you may want to try. Maybe normally you take 1 month. Okay, you try. How can I reduce my time by half, but achieving the same result, or even better? Is there a way or not? So you try to think about this, how to optimize the time. I give you an example. For example, a few months ago, there is a student asking for an interview. So first call, they say, okay. I say, okay, I can do an interview. Interview takes 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour. Then first day settle already, 1 hour. And then another 2 to 3 days, there's three team approach me again. So I need another 3 hours to do that. Okay, how can I optimize my time by getting the same result? By half, saving the half time by getting the same result. How? Okay, very simple. Ask everyone join at the same time. Still the same hour, but the result is the same. You get what I mean or not? That is just an example. how we optimize the time is really depends on how we can manage it. So depends on your creativity. So try to think how can you reduce by half with the same result that we're going to do. So then you can have different ideas. You can list down by doing this, by doing this, by doing this, by doing. Then you can have a better idea on how you can manage it. All right. Okay. Do
Yeah,
you
okay.
have? Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ko and Dr. Yong, for sharing the interesting story to answer the question. Yeah. So let's take a look on the next question from Amli Omar Ismail. And he asked that for a fresh graduate, what is the most important things that needed to be prepared before when we do a startup?
Okay. When open a startup, okay, so there's a few direction. Open a startup. What will make a startup success? Is what will make a startup success is money. No money, then you'll die, right? Startup is basically is a business, it's a company. So I think what is the most important thing need to prepare before opening a startup is there's a few way. One way is from an innovation side, you need to understand the customer. I think the key is you need to able to understand the customer, then able to sell to the customer, and then able to solve their problem. Basically, if you're able to solve a problem for a customer, then you have a chance for surviving. Because if you're able to solve a problem, means you have a value for that. Okay, how the more effective you solve a problem, the better prepare for you to be more successful. Okay, yeah.
Since we talked about this topic, right? Maybe I have a question to Dr. Khor. You say that fun and fulfill her customer requirement is important. Maybe I ask about how about teamwork? Since you mentioned in your slide, teamwork is also important. So maybe how you define your team and how you see that a person is qualified for your team.
Oh, understand. Okay. For me I start because last time actually I'm not a salesperson. I have dilemma to become a salesperson. Even though now I'm forced to be a salesperson. I'm very happy and I'm very happy and fortunate to be able to be a salesperson. That is totally true. I mean I feel I take a different tack for it. So the teamwork is how we started the project. I feel is because the why. Okay, when I try to find teamwork, a team member, I will always share the passion on why we're doing this. I will share like, okay, TechCare is about technology. TechCare, we are here to help people, here to serve people with the skill that we have. If people who are not fit with the mindset, if they won't join us, they won't like, this one, nothing one, I want to do something else. Okay. If people who have the same passion, then I will further see how we can work together. So for the first thing, I will look at the teamwork is the mindset, whether we have the same mindset. Because every decision, we will have a conflict. We will have a conflict. But every conflict comes until the last decision is because we always have the same goal, right? So at the end, it's still whether we are fitting the same goal. And I think it's very important for this goal is the same. If a new team member have a different goal, then this company will be like separated. All right. So as a team member, I feel I always share about the passion and the mission of this project. And then if they are interested, then we can see whether we can try out whether they have the skill, etc. Something like that.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Khor. The next question is from Dr. Yong. He asked that, do you have any FYP project that can recommend to us like student if there's a potential to be commercialized and like, for example, needed by your company, TechCare Innovation?
Okay. There's a few idea. Maybe I did not have much now. Maybe one of thing I can think of is just recently I'm looking into a stroke rehab so there's a shoulder is one of the challenges that a lot of stroke patients they are not able to do, and it take a lot of time to lift from here to here. Take a lot of time. I mean take a lot of time is like Some take 1 year, 6 months, 1 year, and even like 5 years and above, not able to live. So it depends. And what we need actually is the assisted device to assist them. So mostly if there is no one, if there is no device, we need a person to help them. Remember the video that I showed you for the CR2? I need to like stretching, etc. So this there is system in the market called Amio Spring, which there is a spring suspension, and patient can with the spring suspension they can adjust, and then they can do this movement. All right. So, but that is very expensive. Each can cost like over 500,000 and above. So we only have like 10 finger can count in Malaysia. Okay. So now, yeah. So that is one of idea. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so if anyone interested in doing the things like Dr. Khor done, maybe feel free to contact Dr. Khor and propose your own idea.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's take a look. Another follow-up question from Ali. He want to know like, since you already know that the path you've taken in 10 years time, like you mentioned to Dr. Khor, maybe let's see in 10 years time, then you already see what you get already now. Would you do any differently in your journey if you have another chance, maybe?
So I think what would be a big change for me if I know physiotherapy more early. If I take a physiotherapy courses, I can save a lot of time actually. So if I'm going to do differently, probably I have two things I want to do: to become a salesperson and to become a physiotherapist. To learn about these two skills. Sales is how we can become a good businessman. Physio is how we can treat patient. Because the end of the goal, TechCare is about taking care of the people with the skill. And technology, there's no life for technology. The life is coming from people. And if people did not understand about the patient, which the clinical side they know the most, then how can we instill the soul to this innovation? So I learned a lot because my father last year had a stroke, and I get to know more details how to recover a patient, and that changed a lot on how I think about technologies. Previously, I thought of very fancy technology, gaming, very high graphic, but now it's slightly changed the way how I look at that. I look into more on the practicality side, on how effective is it, how is the result, is it helping 90% of the patient, or it's only can help 5% of the patient. So all this I get a more understanding when I know about the recovery rate. But if I know about how I can treat the patient without the business skill, it's also quite hard. So I learn it the way that organically from experience coming along, and if I have this sales experience, I think will be helpful. So yeah.
I think it's very important to have a sales skill to promote your own idea. If you have a good idea but you didn't have a selling skill, then your idea will not be promoted to everyone to know. Yeah.
But sales skill come after the clinical skill, I think. Yeah, correct.
Let's take a look on the next question from Kelvin. He thanks for Dr. Khor for this inspiration talk, and then he asked that every startup will have their own risk. Do you think that with now Malaysia current economical situation, those risks may be too much for example, students like us who have nothing, still have much, didn't have a lot of things to suffer the risk or to take? Yeah.
Understand. Good question. So when talk about risk, I think is either the resources. First is the risk of spending the money. Second is the risk of spending your time. Third is potentially maybe your network or your brand or your name maybe. So I think as a student, during the student time is a good opportunity lah. It's a good opportunity to try out. So how to reduce the risk? Dr. Yong always every decision he will analyze the risk together with me and then try to teach me how to analyze the risk. So you can look into the risk, for example, to become to do a startup example, no need to put every money inside. Okay, you can start with something small. I always like to let's try out something small, like maybe 1 to 3 months with this small amount of money. If even though I lost every money of this, maybe like 500 ringgit or 1,000 ringgit, it's still okay for me. It's still okay for me, right? If it's 10,000, 20,000, even though I lost 30,000 by myself as well lah. But if it's comfortable for you, then start with something small, and that will not determine, that 1,000 will not make you a Bill Gates lah. Okay, you have to understand the expectation. That 1,000 will not make you a Bill Gates, but it can help you to build up your experience for the next challenge. For example, if you, because of 1,000, maybe you earn something, and then maybe because of 1,000 you get 2,000, because 2,000 you get 4,000, because 4,000 you get 5,000. So slowly you roll, but we have to start somewhere. And the risk that you take, the time when you are in the university, as long as you make sure the study is okay, study not affecting, and then you are getting the experience that you want, maintaining the risk that you have, like not being have to be legal lah. Have to be legal. So then it's okay lah. So you have to understand the risk. Yeah. So that is a risk that you can analyze.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Dr. Khor. The next question is from Hamza. He asked that, what is the most frustrating difficulties when you running the startup along the way? And the second question is, what is the most important factor in your opinion to keep the startup? To start a startup. Yeah.
Very good question. Most frustrating difficulties. I think I still remember. At that time, my journey is. I'm not sure where it's coming from me. Most frustrating. I feel most frustrating is, I think, maybe the time when I want to give up, or it's like too tough. There are one time where until like I only left by myself. I think like I'm alone working on the project, and then working until 3 a.m. in the morning, and then there's a problem to solve. The robot is not working, etc. So I think the most frustrating difficulties in startup is when you're not getting the result you want, and then there's a lot of problem. So that is the most frustrating difficulties. Yeah. So how I get myself over that is I printed out a poster. I printed out a A4 paper. I say, show us how you help the mankind with the robotic skill that you have. I print it and stick it in the wall. So and that helped me to move forward. So as long as I think if you have a good intention, then you have this you put in the effort, then you can see some result. What is the most important factor in kick off a startup? At that time, I think I shared with Dr. Yong, opening TechCare is not about making money. I know that's wrong. So business is business. So the most important reason why we started TechCare is at that time I got an offer in Intel, etc. But I did not go into that path. The reason being is I feel like we learn the skill that we have, and if you can try to go to the society and have a look, we may have some problem that the society may face. So I feel like a startup allow us to do some changes. If we are working in a companies, we may not able to do that, right? Like, of course, yes, salary is good, just we may not able to do some can do some changes, but not the one that we wanted to try. So the most important factor I feel is why I want to kickstart is because I see a lot of patients and then overseas have technology and very expensive, cost $1 million plus, and we feel helpless. Patient feel helpless. And then if we can at least do something to change, then will be a big change for us. Will be a small change for our society as well. So I feel that is the reason why I started this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Hope I
Khor.
answered the question.
Yeah. The next question is from Tibian. He asked that how much market requirements help in getting the ideas for innovation, and maybe he would like know more about this from your point of view.
How much market requirement help in getting the idea for innovation? Okay, understand. Market feedback. So there's a few way that you can test your idea whether it's working. Okay, first, how to get the idea is by talking to the customer. Okay, you talk to customer, for example, hey, Jun Yi, do you have any problem as a student? Yeah, I'm not able to go to university now. Very hard to learn, not able to do that. Oh, there's a problem, right? There's a problem. There's an idea, and how to like verify whether this is working or not. Then we try to ask another 10 students. Hey, do you think this problem is very important? Yeah lah, yeah lah. If out of 10, 9% say, wow, this is very important, then you can know that probably this may be a potential problem you can solve. Then the third one, you can try to like have somehow like MVP, or you can test more people, maybe 30, 50 people to ask with a solution. Okay, solution that you don't need to create too hard one. You can propose like, okay, if this is a solution that I have, you're going to pay this, will you like interested on this, the price point, the solution? If you pay this and you solve your problem, will you want to do that? That may be a good point for you. That is one of things that the best thing is you already have either yourself build it or a ready available market. You try to create a solution out of it, and then you try to sell without spending much of your money. You try to sell. Hey, do you want to buy this? You say you have this problem. You try to pitch to these 10 people. Are they going to sell? Are they going to buy it? If out of 10 people they say, because there's a dilemma, you see. If there's 10 people, they say 9 people, they say, I got this problem. But they have this problem, whether they're willing to pay or not is another story. So you will want to test whether how accurate is it. You create a solution and then you ask them, do you want to buy? I have got this solution. I'm ready for you. Do you want to buy? If no, then you know already the market is not there. And from there, you can understand, hey, why you don't want to buy? Too expensive or how? Then you can verify whether your assumption is correct or not. The most accurate, I feel, the most accurate is when people paying you for the solution that you have is a validated idea. Somehow it's a validated idea that you can fully further test to make it more further. Yeah.
So doing survey is very important before you really make the sales.
Correct. Survey and validation. Okay. Actually, sales is a kind of a validation. When you get the sales, you get the validated.
Okay. There's another question from Nakik. He asked that maybe what skill that you need to possess when you feel that they are more relevant to build a startup or to start a startup. Yeah.
I think the most important for me I feel like it's a sales skill. I feel because a sales skill is not to like, hey, Tiga, buy one free one. It's not that sales skill. The sales skill that I mean is sales is about understand the customer problem. A salespeople, they know very good how to sell a solution to a customer problem. So if we have this sales skill, then we know. Because just how you mentioned, I got 10 solution. I got 10. I asked 10 people, 9 people say they got this problem. If you are a salesperson, if I'm a salesperson, you can roughly gosh on, hey, if I got this solution, you want to buy or not? Hey, only 5 ringgit can Hey, 5 ringgit only more. Oh yeah, not bad. Sales if you have a salesperson, you can sell the idea, then you get what I mean or not? You can get a customer, and then slowly because you know what your customer want. If you know what your customer want, then only you can build what your customer want. When you can build what your customer want, then you can start a startup or something like that. I think understanding the customer, salespeople know about customer the most. I think the same mindset.
Okay. So I think we're approaching 3 p.m. already. Maybe any words to encourage us as a student, like for us to take inspiration from Dr. Khor?
Oh, okay. Inspiration. There is I think my last slide mentioned it. If you have a good intention and strong determination, so sometimes you will not able to see fast result because now a lot of society, we will like fast money. One day you get 1,000, 5 days. So try not to get, because of that, like temptation, you move away because of that. So try to have try to think, why do you want to do what you want to do? I think that is a very important one. Okay. I get cheated sometime last time so because this one very good fast result, etc. There's a lot in the market, something like that. So so within the university, I think it's important that you find your why. When you find your why, then you know what you want to do already, because that is the first step to move on. I think. But if you haven't found your why, keep looking, no worry. You can do something that you are interested in, for example, programming, etc. Do some project. Try to find something that you like. So university is the place, a very good space and period for you to try.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Khor. So since we already approached past 3 already, so maybe everyone can open your camera and we will have a quick photo session for today's event. Can turn on your camera, guys. Yeah. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's take another with post maybe. Yeah. 3,
Post.
2, 1. Okay. Yeah. Done already. Okay. So once again, thank you, Dr. Khor, to spending your time and give us your idea, your experience. And I hope that this will help us if we want to start a startup, and this will be a very precious sharing from you. And we hope that to see all the participants in our upcoming session. And I think that's all. Oh yeah, sure. We will have we record this session already. So if you want, can private message our CAIRO UTM team. Yeah. And again, if you still have any question not being asked, or you want to know more about Dr. Khor, you can find him at LinkedIn. Dr. Khor have a LinkedIn account. Yeah. So I think that's all from our today. Take care and have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All the best.
Thank you, Dr. Khor.
Thank you.